This episode of the Sensibly Cynical podcast is sponsored by SC Graphics. This company is incredible. They focus on creating, collaborating, and growing with every new project, including the actual Sensibly Cynical logo. My boy at Seth CGC hooked me up with this incredible logo. I am so excited to work with him going forward. But for now, make sure you check out his website, scgraphics.co. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Sensibly Cynical podcast. My name, of course, is Sean. Today, I have an amazing guest for you. Shortly, I will be joined by Christy Monroe. She is a headlining comedian, stripper, and author who, if you remember, was on this podcast before. She is one of the hardest working people I know. If she puts her mind to it, it will be done, period. So, I hope you enjoy my interview with Christy Monroe. All right, everybody, I have a real treat for you today. Joining me now is headlining comedian, stripper, and author, Christy Monroe. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going? Living the dream over here. I moved to Florida.
Oh yeah, it's kind of surreal talking to you again, you know? It's been a couple years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Frank's no longer part of the podcast.
Yeah, what the fuck happened to Frank?
Well, during the 100th episode, clip show, which obviously you were a part of that.
Yeah.
We all got fucked up, and that led one thing to another, and then you know how sometimes you have built up stuff that you've been wanting to say? When you're not drunk, you have that way to put it, don't be an idiot. When you're drunk, you have no filter. I have no filter anyways. But yeah, we're no longer friends.
So do you feel like it's better now that you're doing it by yourself?
I mean, yeah, it's better because if I want to have some rapper from New York, I can have a rapper from New York. It used to be, we used to do some other stuff, but now I've kind of turned this into an interview show.
Yeah.
Because I realized those are my best downloads, so it's
I'm glad it worked out for you then.
Well, yeah, your podcast is our highest downloaded show.
Really? That's exciting.
Yeah, you even beat out a Survivor Castaway. It's neck and neck.
Wait, which Survivor Castaway?
Sugar? You probably never heard of.
I know, listen, I am a Survivor super fan.
Me too!
I love Sugar.
Me too.
I would love to interact with her in some way. So actually, I now live with my boyfriend, and he's a doctor, and one of his attendings was Dr. Sean Caniff, who was on the very first season ever of Survivor. And so I've been trying to tell Dr. Caniff, hook it up, I really want to play.
So what you've been up to since November 1st of 2018?
So way back then, I was living in a crack house in Brooklyn, and getting famous, doing my thing. At the end of December, I went on a Hinge date, and I met a guy, and he's great, and he's nice and funny and smart and all the good things. So he had graduated medical school and got his residency in Miami, and I was like, live in a crack house in Brooklyn, move to Miami. So I packed up my shit and I moved south.
So, do you want to talk about divorce court or not?
No, we can talk about it. I will tell you that I signed a contract.
Right, that's why I asked.
The contract states that all participants of divorce court are not legally allowed.
That's why I asked.
Whether or not the story was fact or fiction. So,
how long was the taping?
It was maybe we taped for an hour and a half or so. So they flew me and Dean and Lily to Atlanta, and they put us in a really nice hotel. And then we, ran around that night. They paid us a hefty sum of money that I was pleased with.
Well, I mean...
What?
I said, well, I mean, it's pretty obvious.
It was all real, Dean.
How's the pandemic changed, your professional life?
It has changed it drastically. So, March 16th, I was stripping at Vixen's, and it was 4 o'clock in the morning, and there was a lot of chaos going on stage, and somebody that had a rake hit me in the face with the rake. It was an accident. It was a total accident, and I was fine. But I was like, I want to go home. I was pissed. So I went home, and in my mind, I was like, no problem. I'll come back tomorrow night and make more money. And then the next night, for some reason, I didn't go to work. I don't remember why. And then on March 18th, boom, closed. And everyone on the planet, I think, was like, okay, this is weird, but, it'll probably only last a couple weeks. I was like, all right, I'm going to be as productive as possible. And so I wrote a second book, and the second book is called A Sale of Two Titties. And I sat there for the next, 6 weeks or so, and I illustrated 23 drawings that depict the 20 craziest things that I'd seen in the strip club. Mm-hmm. And then I wrote all these short stories. This book, I designed it to be a coffee table book. I didn't want it wasn't a chapter book.
Oh.
Yeah. So, that's going on. And like everyone on the planet, I thought the pandemic's going to end soon, right? So.
Well, hold on. We're in Florida. We don't believe in that.
I had been booked to do some really big shows, and I kind of stopped caring about performing in comedy clubs because I realized that I could get booked at giant festivals and get mm-hmm. paid a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So instead of trying to perform at 50 comedy clubs, I could perform at 6 festivals and make 5 times the amount of money. So I had, certain festivals booked, and I was like, okay, great. And then the pandemic happened, and like I said, everyone thought, it's going to end soon, and it just kept not ending. And so festival after festival after festival got canceled, and mm-hmm. I was like, oh, shit, what do I do? So I started college when I was 16, and for a lot of reasons, I have never graduated, and so I decided now's the time. And so for the summer semester, I signed up at a community college, and I did a bunch of online classes, and I accumulated enough credits that just a few days ago on April 5th, I started my upper division program, and I will be graduating next April, and then the plan is to study for the LSAT and then go to law school. Wait,
would you be the first stripper ever to be a lawyer? You got to look into that and get on the Guinness books.
No, definitely not, no. I personally know strippers who have master's degrees in accounting. Lots of strippers have graduate degrees, or I don't personally know any that became medical doctors. Yeah, so I've been doing classes online, and I've been taking maximum amount of credits every semester. So I've been really busy, and then finally the strip clubs started opening back up, and I was like, all right, I'm ready. I'm just gonna go on this quick trip to Utah. And so I went to Utah, and on January 30th, I'm an expert skier. And
for real, you can do it all.
I can't play tennis. And so I was coming down a double black diamond, and an out of control snowboarder crashed into the back of me, and I heard a loud crack, and I was like, uh-oh. And now I'm tumbling down the mountain. So I was in the middle of 10 mountains at Park City, and I had no choice but to ski 5 more miles on what I knew was a serious injury. And then I had to go to my general doctor, get an x-ray, get an MRI. Just yesterday, I finally got to see the orthopedic surgeon. And so it turns out that I have torn cartilage under the patella and a partially torn MCL.
I'm sorry.
The point is that now I have to go through physical therapy and everything before I'll be able to go back to stripping.
Well, to be fair and to be in full disclosure, everybody, this had to get postponed. We actually planned. And the reason why is I had to go to the hospital 4 days ago. So,
Are you okay?
I'm fine. So basically what happened was I had a skin abscess. You know what that is, obviously. Most people do. Yeah. So I'm thinking it's one of those that, all right, I'll put some Neosporin on it and shit, I got to go to work. So I had to go. So I go to my medical doctor, right? And I'm walk in. And it took 1 minute for him to tell me to go to the hospital. So I'm so excited, I'm so happy for your success, regarding the first book. Is the second book out?
Second book's not out yet. I just kind of got busy with school and really just have to tie up loose ends. I'm also writing the sequel to Something Ridiculous now, and I know that one is very long awaited. Everyone who's written Something Ridiculous asks about the sequel. So
yeah, I was reading the reviews on there on Amazon. And sorry, Chrissy, I haven't purchased one yet. But I was reading the reviews on Amazon, and people were like, "Oh my god!"
I mean, it's a hard book to read, and some of the reviews were kind of intense.
What do you got coming? I know you talked about going to school and stuff. I'm happy for that. You know, I think you're gonna kill it. Obviously, there's no pressure, right?
Oh yeah, I'm getting straight A's. So
yeah, you're a genius. You just want to practice right away, or is it going to be a big transition?
So I want to be a human rights attorney, and with my comedy act, something that was supposed to happen this year, I really thought it was going to happen. I thought I was going to sell a Netflix special, and everything was moving. I was meeting all the right people. Everything was kind of falling into place. And then when the pandemic happened and every show and every open mic and everything with comedy stopped, that kind of got put on pause. So right now with my knee injury, I have to kind of get that situated because I can't do my act with my knee messed up. So I'm going to, do all the physical therapy, and if I have to have surgery, do all those things, get it fixed. And then, kind of just get back to booking shows. It seems like some of the festivals that I was supposed to headline at are, it's looking like they're going to maybe start holding some. There might be one in Tennessee. There might be one in Atlanta. So, trying to, everyone who is involved in those festivals, they're all kind of just waiting and keeping their fingers crossed and hoping that it's actually going to happen. Without that, there's no way for me to film the content that I would need to sell the Netflix special in the first place. So, as the world opens back up and as opportunities start to arise again, I'm going to take advantage of every single one. And all you can do is be prepared when it happens. So I knew that as the stripper comedian, I was at the very bottom of the list of who was going to get the shot. So I signed up for the AstraZeneca clinical trial, and I got paid to get the shot before anybody else got it.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So I did that a couple of months ago, and, there's a lot of conflicting information. Where I'm going with that is I don't know whether or not the girls down here are wearing masks right now, but if I don't have to now, I'm not going to because I got the vaccine. That's what a vaccine is for. I'm good to go. Yeah,
I got the Pfizer. I almost died. It put me on really bad. There was a part the next day after I got the second one. I almost went on the ground and told God to take me. I'm if I have to deal with this for another 12 hours, just take me now. It was terrible side effects on the second one.
I didn't have very bad side effects from the AstraZeneca shot. For after the first shot for 2 days, I kind of felt not great, but I wasn't sick enough that I was like bedridden or anything. I was able to be up, walking around, doing stuff. And then after the second shot, no symptoms at all.
So do you have any fun stories you can share?
Months and months and months ago, I sat down on a Spirit Airlines flight, and the woman who sat down next to me was this stranger. I didn't know who she was. Her name is Lauren, and she's the most incredible person I've ever met. Yeah. And she's a missionary, and she travels all over the world rescuing girls in traffic situations. It was an instant connection. Like, she was like instant best friend. And she's actually the very first person that ever purchased and read my book. And so she lives like an hour outside of Dallas, and for months, for like a year, she's like, come visit, but COVID, and no one knew what was going on. So I just went a couple days ago, and it was the craziest shit that ever happened to me. She lives in the middle of nowhere on a farm, and she has 4 daughters total, but 2 of them are 14 and 13, and then the little one is 9 years old. And she has this farm with 9 horses, 2 cows, a bunch of chickens, a bunch of baby chickens. Her cat had recently had kittens, and in a couple days she was getting sheep. And so there was a lot going on, and like, I'm from New York City, so first day that I was there, like, upon arrival, 6 baby chickens died, and I was like, oh no. And then the cat that had kittens, 3 of the kittens were brown and 1 was black. So then Lauren got bit by a spider, and her arm was like black.
What?
And, yeah, so I was like, we have to go to the hospital. So we rushed to the hospital, and in the windows of the hospital, like, upon arrival, there were signs that said masks are not required. And I was like, okay, Texas. She gets antibiotics and steroids and everything. And then we're driving back to her farm, and we see a bobcat bolt across the road with something black in its mouth.
No shit.
And, like, the first thing that I thought was like, oh, it got a rat. And so then we get back to her house, and the 3 little brown kittens come wobbling out, but the black kitten is missing. And I'm like, oh my God. So Lauren runs inside and gets her husband, and her husband comes out with an AK-47, like a giant gun, and he jumps on the gator, which is like a quad thing, and he's like running down the street to like shoot this bobcat. And then the 9-year-old daughter comes out with her rifle, and she's like, wait, Dad, wait for me. And I'm like, what is this? So then I hear like one bullet shot.
What?
And killed this bobcat. And so he like brings this carcass home, and I was like, what? And then the next, and so in the end, we did find the little black kitten, and it was okay.
What?
So, yeah. So, the next day, 2 horses, like new horses, were coming to Lauren's farm, and allegedly horses, like, they're a herd, and when a new horse comes, they don't like the new horse, so they try to kill it. So her 9-year-old daughter, who weighed 61 pounds, was out there huffing 50-pound bags of horse feed, and I was like very impressed. I was like, how is this humanly possible? And so like, one horse came. For random horse reasons, Lauren said no to this horse, and that horse left. And then this other new horse came. So they put the new horse in this like corral thing. Her kid was out there feeding the horses, and then we had all come inside to eat dinner, and we just put food on our plates, and we hear like screaming. We're like, what's going on? Her daughter accidentally let the new horse out, and the 9 other horses started like trying to kill the horse. Everyone like flew up from the table. They jumped on their quads. They were like lassoing these horses. There was like super loud sirens to scare the horses away from the new horse.
I'm sorry.
It was freaking crazy. Like, I had never saw anything like that. And then her two teenage daughters took me to this thing called the Fort Worth Stockyard, which was basically the equivalent of like if Times Square were like a thing in Texas, but not Times Square. So it was like all about cowboys, and every restaurant was like a steakhouse, and you could buy overpriced leather boots, and like it was like a tourist trap.
Right.
It had cowboys and like longhorn steer and like rodeos and stuff. It was really, really an intense experience.
I assume that's one of the cats.
Oh no, that's my cat. This is my cat.
Oh, hey, for everyone listening, Christy Monroe has an absolutely awesome cat right now.
Her name is Five, and she's a Kittler. She's a cat that looks like Hitler. And my favorite website on the internet is www.catsthatlooklikehitler.com.
What?
It's a real website.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some Survivor, since we stumbled upon that. Who do you think is the greatest survivor of all time?
Rupert, and if you say anyone else,
What?
you're fucking wrong.
You're going to hang up if I say someone else?
I live for Rupert.
So you're going to hang up if I say someone else?
Okay, if the other person that you say is Boston Rob or Parvati or the Dragon Slayer, then I'll accept those answers. But
I think Tony.
No.
He won season 40.
I don't care.
He won the last season.
I don't care. No one has ever been better than Rupert. When I see Rupert, my heart
Okay, so
feels...
for me, it's Tony or Boston Rob. Flip a coin. I don't know. To each their own. I remember Rupert too. You know, I thought it was cool when he Pro Islands. I was a kid and I saw him like steal the food.
Rupert was awesome. I mean, I love Survivor. I really want to play it. Tell Sugar to hook me up. The reason that I want to play is because I really strongly believe that I would win. I am a super manipulative person, and I can lie to your face and look you dead in the eyes and make you believe what I'm saying.
Hey, Chrissy, I'll do you a favor. I'll message Sugar and say I have a friend that really, really, really wants to play.
But I've sent in tapes and stuff. I really, really hate going to open mics, and I really hate local comedy scenes, like hate them and do not want to be involved in them. So I went to like one open mic one time because my very good friend was here from New York who was a comedian. And so I was like, all right, we'll go. And we went. And this was before I had the vaccination. And so we go, and everyone's sharing a microphone. No one had a mask on or anything like that. And then the next day at noon, the host of the open mic texts everyone and is like, hey, you guys need to go get tested. I just came back positive. And
what?
I was like, that's why I don't go to open mics.
No shit. I'd be pissed too.
Yeah. Luckily, I went and got tested, and I tested negative. So, but, you know, I don't know. Something that really irks me about stand-up comedy, I guess, is like it's a very big fish in a small pond mentality, and whoever's like producing shows in some little bumfuck town is like super popular, and then I go there and I like politely listen to their comedy, and it's so bad. So everyone that I know that is like a headliner that's actually making their living. They're also acting, so, they're offsetting their income by picking up more acting jobs.
So, do you know when the book is coming out?
I don't know. I just need to sit down and finish it. Like, the meat of the project is done. Like, the stories are written, the drawings are made, and everything. I just have to kind of put it together.
Do you have any advice for people going through rough times right now?
Keep your head up, and, if you're in a relationship you're not happy in, there's literally 7 billion other people that you could give it a go with. If you're not happy with your job, change it now, today. You only have one life. Don't spend the next 40 years doing something you hate. If you want to try a new hobby, guess what? The sun's coming up tomorrow. Do it.
It is. All right, so Christy, where can people find you?
You can follow me on Instagram at Stripper Comedy. My website is strippercomedy.com, and you can purchase my book on Amazon, Something Ridiculous by Christy Monroe.
All right, well, I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And you stay safe, okay?
Okay, will do. Thank you.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye. There you go. Another episode of Sensibly Cynical in the books. Once again, I would like to thank Christy Monroe for coming on the podcast today. Make sure you check out my boy Seth on Instagram at SethCGC. There you'll find his link tree with links to his Amazon, Etsy, Teespring, and Redbubble. Coming up next here on the podcast, I will be releasing, finally, the next episode of Mr. Cynic, Introverts versus Extroverts. And also, coming in May, I will be joined by Canadian recording artist Live Chaos. So, be on the lookout for all that. Check us out on Twitter at Cynical Sensibly, Instagram Sensibly Cynical Pod, and you can check out our Facebook group. If you could also please subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, I would be highly, highly appreciative. Please stay safe, mask up, and take care.